Tonight's forecast is sponsored by Ashbrook Audiology, where relationships matter.
Happy Thursday to you. It's good to have you with us here on the program. I'm Dustin Staples, coming to you here on the end of the week edition as we're getting started for the weekend. And I'm sure you are as well. And you're wanting to know, is the weekend going to be okay? I promise you there's not going to be precipitation for the weekend. And we'll talk more about that winter possible event. The way thing right now, things are looking not likely for a significant snow. And like I said earlier in the week, I think we could use a break in the winter weather because it has been so busy here the last several weeks. And so I want to begin with a photo. This is from Portland, Maine. We're introducing a segment called hashtag TBT, and you young folks out there know what I'm talking about, Throwback Thursdays, and we may even do some other things on whatever you want to call it. So just let us know in the our emails or our Facebook page. Sarah here lives up in Portland, Maine. She sent me the photo back on the weekend snow from her backyard, and a lot of scenery with that. It's a nighttime snowfall. She said this was about right around the midnight hour. They started picking up about 6 inches of snow. And as you know, they picked up a pretty heavy amount of snowfall during the duration of that event up there. And they picked up roughly, I think it was somewhere between 14 and like 18 inches of snow in parts of Maine. Thank you, Sarah. We always want to see your photos. Do email them and message them. You can message them to me on my Facebook page at Staples Weather. Just go on there and search in the Facebook bar and send me a message, or message them to us on our Facebook page at BTW21, or you can email them to BTW21weather@outlook.com. So moving on now, we're going to talk about some more statistics. We were in science class. Well, this is kind of like a science class, I would say. It's weather, atmospheric dynamics, thermodynamics is the word I'm looking for. Today we're talking about math. You're like, oh no, Dustin's going to give math lecture. Not today. I'm gonna let you off pretty easy. I'm gonna do all the work for you, and I pretty much did it here. So as you talk about ratios, the kiddos in those higher level high school maths, and they get them college level, algebras and the trigonometries, all those math classes you have to take, and I'm finishing up most of all of them already. I've actually done those already. So here's the fun stuff that comes in with this. This is the scientific mathematical stuff. 2-to-1 sleet ratio, basically meaning 2 inches of sleet is equivalent to 1 inch of rain. And we see the 10-to-1 ratio. That's basically meaning 10 inches of snow is equivalent to 1 inch of rain, and then vice versa. And so what happens with this, we've been seeing this linger, this mount, you go to the local department stores in our area, there's big mountains of snows. Most of that is now sleet, not snow, because if you recall, 3 weeks ago, we had that winter event. We had a break of snow to sleet and freeze and rain, then a transition back over to snow, and it kind of messed a little bit of a dangerous situation, to say the least. So what ended up happening with this, I'll step off as you kind of read these. So sleet has more of a higher concentration than snow does, and it's all because of the density of how thick and how condensed it is in the precipitation. What ends up happening with that, since the sleet is a lot more heavier than, let's say, some powdery snow, then most likely you're going to continue to see heavy, wet sleet and freezing rain compared to the snow there. And then obviously that takes more time to melt than snow does, because hypothetically, let's say you saw roughly 20 inches of snow, and let's say the temperature was, say, I don't know, 14, 15 degrees, you have more of a powdery snow because it's not right around the freezing mark. Whereas our storm system was right around the freezing mark to the upper 20s to low 30s, we were able to get that heavy wet snow, which is what we did get, and then it ends as a powdery snow because our temperatures were quickly falling drastically through the afternoon. So that's how that happens, to say the least. And of course, if you have a 10-to-1 ratio, this is where our temperatures are just below freezing or just near it, and then you have 10 inches of frozen precipitation is equivalent to 1 inch of liquid rain. And you have the case scenario where we're seeing some heavy rain in some parts of the area. And you see here, we're going to continue to still see this. Something about tonight, you're like, wow, the temperatures are really getting warm, and that's going to be the case. We'll have a southerly breeze coming up to give us a southerly flow in the rain, allowing our temperatures to go from the 50s to almost 60 about midnight. And to keep in mind, this will be the daytime high for our Friday, right around that anyway, to say. So as you're getting your day started, I don't want you to think, wow, it's going to be 60 degrees. That is going to take place around the midnight 1, 2, 3 in the morning hour. So as you're waking up tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to begin to fall throughout the day. There is going to be a west wind that's going to be picking up. So for the first half of the day, we're going to continue to see this rain continuing off and on. By mid to late afternoon, we'll see the rain shut down. And then again, we'll be left with some chilly conditions, as this is going to be part of a cold front coming through the area, dropping our temperatures drastically down. So the only minor concern we're going to talk about tomorrow night is spots of black ice and refreezing. For those who did see the heaviest rain, if you have those puddles around, let's say your driveway or even some of the roads, you may want to be careful because you'll have run into some slick spots early Saturday morning. And most of the rain and precipitation is going to be out of here by the time we head towards the weekend here. So the first weekend of February, this is a lot better than what we saw the last several weekends. As you remember, it was windy and it was just brutally cold. This is not going to be as bad. There'll be a breeze out there, a north breeze from 10 to 15 miles per hour. So wind chills will most likely be in the upper 20s to low 30s. Nothing like to what we saw a few weeks ago. 18 degrees, it seems like to be the overnight low there with clear skies. So obviously we're going to see the wind help move and evaporate that rain this weekend. Yes, it's going to still be cold, but it ain't going to be like a prolonged stretch of just frigid temperatures like we saw back in just a few weeks ago. Sunday's not looking too bad. We'll get up to 42, and our overnight lows are going to be staying in the low 20s with those clear skies both Saturday and Sunday night. And on Monday, back to average. We're going to begin to start feeling like February. And like I said, the system that was forecasted earlier in the week, those computer models, man, I thought I was watching, it would have been like a battle of an argument between two people. I kid you not. That's how the alliteration I'm going with it, because you thought one model was showing a snowstorm, the other model was showing something, and so anyway, it just pretty much fizzled out. And sometimes that happens in these cases where you never know what's going to happen and if we're going to get any precipitation with any storm system coming through. Now, I do want to let you know that winter is not done. I promise you that much. We may be in a pattern where things will be not as active, but it looks like we're going to calm down for the next at least week or so. And we'll actually showcase you the outlook on Monday, as that's released by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, NOAA for short, for that matter as well. So again, I'll leave you with the 3 days here. Sunshine's going to be out there for the weekend. Once we get past this rain on Friday, do remember that the rain is going to persist and continue through the first half of the day. Temperatures will begin to fall through the afternoon. So as the kiddos and yourself is heading up from work and school, just keep in mind that you'll be needing the heavier coat later in the afternoon. If you do have any plans to be out and about on Friday night, just keep in mind a few slick spots are possible. Again, most of the precipitation is out of here no later by mid to late afternoon, and then we're left with plenty of sunshine. Just stick around with us. We appreciate your company. As always, I'm Dustin Staples. We want to thank you for spending part of your weekend with us. We will have more news continuing right after this.
Your BTW21 weather forecast is sponsored by Zentmeyer Chiropractic.